Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video on the channel today. First of all, I got to apologize to these two. It's been over a week since they sent this to me, but I have just been absolutely life right now, so I apologize I couldn't get to this any sooner. Second of all, this is a replay analysis for two people at the same time, which I have also never done. So we're going to see how this goes. I'm going to try to keep it balanced out between the two and mainly focus on rotations and challenging, like you guys asked. And for those of you who don't know, these are both Plat 1 players. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so this first kickoff, what I want to recommend is a line that is more direct at the ball. And you just completely forget this boost pad exists. Flip, make a slight adjustment to the right at the beginning, just enough to put you on this course, because you know you're a little bit more straight right now, but just to put you on that course directly to the ball. And then when you do get to the ball, you want to side flip instead of the front flip that you had there. And you want to get it like right across the equator of the ball, up to there a little bit more. So really what we're looking for is you want to hit the ball literally right here and only right here. And then in my opinion, from the side you came from, I would be flipping this way. And a side flip, not a front flip, to win this kickoff. Or give your best shot at winning this kickoff. And then that is fine. But then you go up for this and like you kind of realize it's not the best idea once you've committed to it. So what you want to do is really just take this ball as it rolls up here. You want to come around from like over here and bring the ball with you up the wall over here. No offense to you or Plats anywhere or whatever, but I really just think that trying to do a ceiling shot before you're in high champ in a game is a waste of your time, because there are much easier ways to score goals. That's just my opinion. Not everybody's got to like it. Yeah. Especially in a defensive situation. You're not going to be scoring a goal there very often. This, however, is a lot better to get that ball off the wall, and that would have even been fine to do on the other side. Those bumps are unfortunate. Alright, so one thing I did just want to come back and note is that you had an opportunity to get this ball like significantly before your opponent. So he is obviously thinking about the goal and nothing but the goal, and you are also thinking about the goal and nothing but the goal. But what I want you to do is think about, how can I beat this guy? How can I make it so he basically doesn't exist? What you do is you angle your car this way. Instead of facing the goal, you're facing more like that. And as this ball comes down, you're gonna hit it into the corner, because then he doesn't exist. He's not a problem. His teammate still needs to recover. So you have all the time in the world to tap the ball into the middle, and Nerdzz can score it. Alright, that's a good first controlling touch. The second touch will come with time. This right here, because you asked me to point out things about challenging, this was good patience to wait there. That's good positioning to be waiting for this pass here. Just unfortunate. Vibe gets a slight bit too far in front of the ball and doesn't quite catch it properly. But what I would say is that once this mistake happens, don't sit here. Just leave. Because that pinch could have been more dangerous than it ended up being. So in this position, you have basically a good quarter of the field here that just belongs to you. So instead of trying to aerial this ball, I'd let that come back down and catch it. Go for a double play. Like, just look at all of this space here. You have nothing to fear. He is not challenging. He is basically sitting still over there. So just take this down, control it. One of the biggest things you want to do in twos, more so than threes, is notice when you have space and take it. It's a much bigger part of the game in twos. And that was one spot where it was really good to go in and help your teammate, because that's awkward and there is minimal risk in that particular case. See how this area looked from perspective. Okay, so I understand maybe not reading this perfectly, but you jump once it's already going where it's going, so it is a little bit easier to read. But you make the mistake of jumping facing it now. What you want to do is face it where it's going to be when you want to hit it. So to kind of explain that, like, obviously the line between you and the ball is pretty straight on. But if you want to hit the ball when it's here, then you want to be angled here so that you have a straight path to it to score. If you just take that extra little second to set yourself before you jump for this and think about where you want to hit it, it'll be a little more comfortable. Then here, realistically, using all your boosts to take it over to the wall means that you're not going to have a good ceiling shot opportunity if you're going to go for one at all. So you got it to the wall. You've successfully bought a ton of time because this is going to roll up the wall. They're going to have to deal with it. Now you can go get boost. That's what you won with this. I wouldn't be trying to take this up the wall, continuing with the ball to go for something else. There was really smart from Vibe not to go too early, so that was a smart challenge. Here, you're positioning very well defensively, and oh my goodness, that is a pinch. Switch to Vibe here. Okay, so you still front flipped, but that was almost exactly the line that I was trying to explain to you in the very first kickoff. So try to make it look a little bit more like that, but side flip at the end. And just to be clear, the reason that I explain that and put that out there is that when you front flip, you have the potential to be carried beyond where the ball is, whereas when you side flip, kind of stay more in place. And because of that, you force the ball along and you go with it. It's kind of difficult to visualize, but just trust me. Side flip your kickoffs. Not the worst attempt ever. I would personally rather see just a traditional air roll attempt here instead of the weird like side flip thing that ended up happening. and then from this position defensively, should be able to see that it's pretty likely that he's going to have another touch there and not be jumping. But also the fact that that ball was pretty much never going to roll from the way it was hitting the wall. So jumping towards the wall as you do here, I don't think was the correct play at this time. And luckily you got bailed out by Nerdzz. The aerial. I guess realistically you don't know that it is on or not. So I could see going for it. But what I would recommend for a ball that's coming at you very high like this is to just stop completely before you do jump. And when you do make that jump, you need to really tilt yourself back, like almost vertically, instead of just that slight bit that you did there. If you had gone more vertical, you might have gotten to that. And then once you're in this position, you either want to go up the wall, like over up here, and then fall down into the net, or like back up, half flip, come around, back post, rotation. So, you know, either go around on the ground or go around up, but don't just wait, because if the other opponent chose to challenge this ball, your net is empty. Good teamwork to get that out. I'm gonna assume that's some kind of controller disconnect or something. So as far as challenges, you did pick your timing very well. You noticed that he hit it too far away from himself and could beat him to it. So you did well with that. That's just unfortunate. You dodge a slight bit too early to catch that ball. Good patience to try to just catch this ball and buy time for Vibe to get back. That would be the correct thing to do. Unfortunately, just missed the touch a little bit. Good recovery to save, though. That's unfortunate. So that just looks like a little bit of either panic or misread. Like you were on course and you made a slight little snap adjustment. I've seen it a couple times now where you adjust to where the ball is right this second and you go straight there. You want to be, keeping in the back of your mind is what's going to happen to the ball before I get to it. So just try to be thinking ahead to what is going to happen and then seeing something like that happening. That is a very interesting choice of way to get back into defense. I mean, if it works, I can't really fault it too much. I would have personally stayed grounded. Just some flips, some boosts. We would have landed with more boosts, but I can't be super upset about it. Just a little bit of an unfortunate mistouch on the takeoff there. Can't fault that too much either. Here I see you starting to turn towards the corner a little bit early. Try not to do that. You really want to either be back post there or in a shadowing position. So, shadowing would look like if your car was turned around completely, exactly where I have it paused right now, but he was in like this position. So let me just draw it out a little bit. I mean, I'm sure you're familiar with shadowing, but because his line of attack is presumably going to be something like this, you want to set yourself kind of facing, and then as he's coming in, come in, that when he shoots you have multiple points of intersection, hit that. Whereas when you're facing this way and he comes in, only have 1 point at which you can save it. So shadowing gives you that benefit of having more opportunity to save the ball. Alright, that is a very ambitious dodge forward, in my opinion. So if you think about what you're looking at here before you dodge, you're looking at a teammate with questionable amount of possession and both opponents in one big cluster. So it's not a very good time to dodge forward, because that's going to take you far forward. If I was in Nerdz's position here, I would say you don't want to touch this. You just want to leave. Just leave it alone. There's no threat on the ball. And all you ended up doing was really messing up your... Alright, and you kind of did a lot in this dribble here without any pressure. So he turned away and left, like, immediately. But you still, like, kind of made a trying to beat him type of maneuver without really knowing very well where he was. So you want to be thinking about where your opponents are. Like, in my opinion, just don't try it. Like, there is a conscious decision made to, like, go for some kind of ceiling shot or something, when there's just so many more options. Throw that ball on the ground, like, anything. That ends up just being a turnover. You want to be careful. Rotationally, in my opinion, it's smart from Vibe not to go for this because of the risk. Even if the opponent is not 100% ready, you do have a goal up and there's only 40 seconds left, so you want to be safe. The double backflip challenge, I would not recommend. I would half flip the first one, in my opinion. You half flip here, you could then control this ball into the corner, take it up the wall. And to be very, very clear, when I say up the wall, I mean like this up the wall, not like this up the wall. To be very, very clear on what I mean. This is a very good place to challenge. I was going to say it was risky, but he passed it to you, so never mind. Fine. Normally, if he had been dribbling this ball, you would not in a million years want to challenge it, because your opponent or your teammate cannot back you up at all if it doesn't go 100% your way. Not a poorly executed play. Good job. Good job to both of you guys. First time I've gotten to see you do the kickoff this game. You want to be flipping. In particular, so the line that you want to follow is something like this. it kind of goes straight first, and then you, well, at the beginning, I should say, you make a slight adjustment, which you do. And then once this adjustment is made, you're front flipping, landing right about where that is, right there, and turning in at that point. So if I go forward just a little bit here, for better visualization, you would be landing somewhere around here. Or I guess not landing somewhere around here, but this would be the point at which you'd start turning in. Turn in, you look for contact right in the center of the ball there. And because of the side you came from, again, I would be flipping this way. Just to try to get as many contacts on that ball as possible. That's unfortunate. Here, rotationally speaking, I wouldn't be touching that. I would say that Nerdzz, I guess that was tough for Nerdzz to read. So I can understand the panic touch, but at the same time, you never want to hit it backward. So, trying to think of what I would have done in this situation. And I probably either would have... Okay. I'll draw it out a little bit here. So, Nerdzz, we know you messed up. That's okay. It happens to everyone. What I would think you should do is pick a route down the wall and set yourself in the back post here. And then this ball bounces. You don't do anything at all. If they challenge it, that's why Nerdzz is in the net. He's got the whole thing covered because he's at the back post. If it goes up here, you can get to it. It goes over here, you can get to it. That's why I recommend a back post rotation, by the way, because if you chose to rotate here and you were sitting in front of the net here and it goes here, that gives you a very awkward line to get to it. Like if you're facing this way and sitting here. One thing I have been doing lately is hiding in the corner of the net, like in the back. But, you know, you don't want to do that too much. That's mostly if you're afraid of a demo. But yeah, just let that ball bounce. When it comes back down, you catch it. If the opponents challenge it, well, that's why Nerdzz went to net. And you're fine. Just to avoid hitting it backward and potentially passing it to the other team, you know, yourself. That one I wouldn't have been just quite leaving so much. You had 68 boost when you landed. There is an opportunity to kind of get up the wall a little bit. Hit it. Do something. I get there's 5 seconds left. You don't want to be worried about it, but... You know, if it wasn't 5 seconds left and 2 goals up. Alright, and that's the end of it. So... Overall, like, I feel like your rotations together weren't so bad. I didn't see a whole lot of, like, double committing or bad rotational habits from you guys that I noticed, like, offhand. And for the most part, your challenges seemed pretty smart. So for those two things, I think you guys actually did pretty well. As with everyone else, I recommend that you work on things like being supersonic as often as you are comfortable with. I recommend you focus on things like recovery, wave dashes off of walls, stuff like that. Make sure you're always landing on your wheels after aerials, that kind of stuff. Have it in mind, as well as trying to read one step ahead of where the game is right now and to where it's going to be, and preparing yourself for that. Those are my 3 biggest tips for pretty much everyone. And I didn't see anything too terribly awful about you guys to like make you like a special amount of bad where I need to recommend you special stuff. So yeah. Anyway, you guys did pretty well together. I don't see anything too terrible. So hopefully this helps you guys. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace.